Hey, everybody. Welcome to Keep It Spiritually Simple. I'm your host, Sandra McEllis. And before I introduce our beautiful guest who has decided to grace us again, we're so excited, Rachel Corpus. I want to ask each and every one of you to please hit the like, subscribe, share, comment button. Hey, leave Rachel a question. We might be able to get it answered for you on the next show. So, for any of you who didn't see our previous video or other videos with Rachel, she is an angel incarnate here in an earthly body, living an earthly experience. So, our last show, she talked a lot about that, and then just some wisdom that came through, and a lot of Q&A. As many of you know, I do not rehearse anything. I don't look at websites. I don't investigate. I just get on. We snap straight on, kind of, and intuitively bounce back and forth. So a question came up for me last night to ask Rachel. And the question kind of went like, as an angel, why would you come to Earth? Why would you need to come to Earth? Why would you want to experience Earth? Because we, as many of us know in this realm, it's called a very harsh planet, a planet of learning, a planet of, woo. And some people will say, oh, because you gain brownie points to get to another level when you go to another end. I don't know what that answer is, but why would an angel want or need to come into human existence? And if you do you also have a higher self like many of us humans do?
I love those questions. I am here on assignment. I have a mission, and I had a choice. I said yes to the mission. Like everyone else, I have choice. We always have choice, even if it feels like we don't. And let me footnote that even though we can't control what other people do, we have a choice with how we respond. That's the choice we have. And so, as an angel incarnate, when I am in the seraphim realm where I live and I'm asked to go on a mission, I can always say no. But what's in it for me? Well, I get to be here and experience everything that Earth has to offer. This is the playground dimension. So, what Earth has to offer, we get to grow here because this Earth has different vibrations that only Earth has to offer. And when we're here, those vibrations seem very, very difficult because they're low. For example, hunger, jealousy, abuse. Why on earth would you want to experience those? Well, let's zoom out. When we are existing as the pure souls that we actually are, and we're not just existing as immature humans, because we're in our avatars right now, so we're not really accessing who we are as our full potential. We're just in our avatar form. We don't remember very much of who we actually are. That's the job of our higher self. So when we're here, we're in play form, and our job or our objective is to be in those different vibrations because it expands our soul. We don't have to say it teaches us, it expands us. And when we expand, everybody else expands because we are not separate from each other. We are not separate from source that created us. So we expand, everybody expands. Earth is not a punishment. It's not a prison. It is a playground. It's where we learn. We all come here knowing what the gig is. Now, I will say that we've been coming here so much and we've forgotten what the gig is, that we've made Earth a little bit too low vibe, and we're all here with a secondary mission to pull it back in. We need to pull some light back in, and we're doing that as well. So that is a secondary mission that we all have here, not just the angels. So when I was asked to come here, I'm both here to help everyone with their awakening and to experience the earthly realm for my own personal growth. When I grow personally, it helps me become a better seraphim angel. And when I'm a seraphim angel just at my desk, I advise people before they go into their lives. I help them with, what kind of sense of humor do you want? What's your work ethic? Who do you want to be assigned with? How do you want to behave with your soulmates? I can do this better if I have also experienced my own trauma, my own abuse, my own addiction patterns, falling in love, the taste of cheesecake. When I have experienced all of those things, I can be a better counselor as a seraphim. So that's why I would want to be here. I see Earth not as a good or a bad place, but a neutral place, a playground. And I didn't always see it that way, but I see it that way now. That's why we're here, whether angel or human.
Interesting. Well,
I
while
do
you
have
were
a
saying that,
yourself.
I had this thing of like this big mansion on top of a mountain where there's, plentiful food and always beautiful weather and plenty of money to come and go as you want. Why would you want to go down the hill and live like a peasant, right? And then at the same time, it's like, and not that Earth is a peasant planet, but I'm just saying such a different realm. Why would I want to go down there and live with the peasants? And then I think about, well, if I was there and I already experienced that, maybe I want to experience something else. Maybe I won't go all the way to the end of the mountain, but maybe I'll gradually bounce all over the place. So
It's
I
just a
can have
field
that
trip,
experience. Yeah.
the field trip. And when you are here and you get to the point where you remember, I'm going to call it the truth. And I mean that this really is not really a material place. We just believe it so much that this feels physical, but it's not. This is a holographic, haptic feedback place. We are so brilliant in our thoughts creating the next moment that we have created this physical place that we believe is structured out of real stuff. But if you keep looking and looking and looking deeper and closer, it's all energy. And we are constructing this from our higher selves, which, yes, I have a higher self. It's actually my angel form. We all have a higher self. You and I, we're talking together in our avatar form. This feels so real, is not. We're somewhere else right now, just looking down, say, okay, move this way, move that way. Oh, you should eat something. Did you go to the bathroom yet? Go to sleep a little bit. We're in our avatar. And once we realize that, we also realize, oh, we can we can control this, not through aggression, through love, not by power. Oh, I'm going to assert my control and I'm going to pull in all the money just for me. Oh, no, it's not that kind. It's all right with my feelings when I feel good about myself. And I realize that I can follow my talents and cultivate those, and I feel worthy, then those thoughts start to create the future. Versus, man, I'm a victim. I can't do this. This is bullshit. Then you're stuck. That's when you're stuck in your avatar. When you start to realize the truth of who and what you really are, a spark of power, then you can begin to really have a life that is not stuck in Earth, not stuck in the playground. The field trip gets real fun. And that's why we're here. We're not here to suffer. That's part of old religion doctrine, probably Hebrew Bible, Old Testament, fear God. And there's no judgment with that. It's just old teaching. Suffer, fear, the book of Job. That man wrote that. Source didn't write that. Source said, go here. Earth is a place where you can go to feel some different texture. Feel the end of the color spectrum. You've got the light over here, feel the dark so that you know what the middle feels like. So you know what the light feels like, but it's not a punishment.
Okay, so then I think about energy and I think about, source and all these other realms that are a non-physical form, and their energy is very different than the energies of the meat and potatoes of a physical avatar. And so I was thinking of it in the lines of like a power plant. I wouldn't take my lamp down the street to the power plant and try to plug it in. I'd blow the lamp and myself up, right? Um, so it has to trickle out and go through different funnels and tunnels to hook into my house and then filter out into different veins to go into the wall so that I could have a socket that was down to the voltage that could handle my lamp. So, how does this work with the angelic energies and coming into physical form as far as your energy? Is your energy being held out here in a big container because only a portion of it can survive in a physical form?
The real you is all around you. It's never corrupted. It's right here always. It's not somewhere else. It's always right here. So what you have constructed for yourself is this amount of time that you're here in this body where you have said, I'm going to pretend I don't remember that I am that massive power plant. I'm actually going to pretend I'm the little lamp. There is nothing you have to do to translate your energy to plug into your power plant. There's nothing you have to do. That power plant, your real energy is not ever going to blow you over or blow you out. What you get to do is remember that that massive power plant is not something different than you. It's your purest form. And you start to remember that you speak the same language. You're the same phone number. You're the same vibe. And you recognize it as, oh, that power plant is massive. Wow. Oh, wait, I'm massive. I'm wow. And if you start to see yourself the same, then the lamp starts to say, oh, wow, I am the power plant. Oh, my plug does match that. And the power plant says, oh, I don't have to be so big. I can also be a little lamp. And they start to see each other the same. So let's put this into real terms. As a person, when you start to bravely deny what other people have told you, and you say, no, this is what I believe. This is who I am. This is what I believe. This is how I want to live my life. And you start to love yourself, or even just like yourself and take care of yourself. Your energy starts to shift. Your auric field starts to go from foggy to more like acrylic paint, thicker, stronger. And you will show up in this realm, I'm hearing the angels say, in a healthier way. And your energy will start to blend back into your bigger energy. You will translate back into your energy. So the ways you do this, you help your nervous system regulate. You notice when you're holding your breath, exhale. You notice if you're one that has an internal monologue, if he or she is being a bitch, pardon my language, you say, hey, I hear you. Go have a snack. I need you to do that. Go sit down. Go watch a cartoon. You are reasonable. When you make a mistake, you say, I'm human. Okay, I won't do that again. You're kind to other people. These are simple things you do. We're beyond the point where we have to go on shamanic retreats for 3 weeks to reach our spirit. No, this is simple stuff. We remember that as the little lamp, we're also the power plant. We're not separate. It's simple stuff. You eat well. You let yourself sleep. You forgive yourself. You listen to your internal monologue. And when she's not being nice, you reset her. Things like that. If you have depression or anxiety, let those be messages for you. Depression is often our messenger that we get to take a break because we're over serving. Anxiety. You're getting a lot of messages from energy around you that you're taking on. So is there something you can shift or walk away from? If you are an empath, are you over healing or over helping? Do you need to transmute some energy that's not yours? Can you go to water? Can you listen to a song that is your favorite? Can you light some incense and breathe it in for a moment? You don't have to clear energy because all energy is good, but can you transmute it back into your power plant? Because that energy has somebody else's fart in it. Bring it back to yours. That's
That-
where we are.
That's really powerful, Rachel. Thank you for sharing that.
I hope it helps somebody.
Well, it's helping
We're
me.
so close. We're so close.
We are. Now, I know at the end of the last session, we were going to talk about the fourth realm. And um, I know for me, I don't know what I see. My communication is never hearing, like I don't hear a voice. I'll have an innate knowing of something. When I close my eyes, or whatever reason, I might get clips of movies and then I'll do my best to transcribe them. But a few years ago, I started seeing um, shapes of people, of it could be bubbles, it could be a colored in a format of different colors and shapes. It could be a face on the wall. Like right now, I have a face floating around my room, just in clear form with a little bit of white around it to let me know this is not part of anything else. When I look up at the sky, I always see the same thing. I will get a flash and then I'll get a big eye. And then that eye will go back and it looks like an animal. And then there will be one man. He has a hat on and he has a certain outfit. He's moving energy everywhere. And so the only thing I've been able to translate from that is that these beings are cleaning the energy constantly, moving the energy, moving the energy. But other than that, I don't know anything of what I'm seeing, but I know a lot of people are about to wake up their sight. So I'd like to maybe help some people who are listening.
Love it. You are seeing the fourth dimension. She is female. We used to call her the veil, and she didn't show up for a long time in her true form because she didn't feel welcome. We used to talk about the fourth dimension around Halloween and say things like, oh, the veil's showing up. The veil's very thin. And because we talked about her like that for so long, we kind of thought of her like a curtain or a gossamer veil. And so that's how she would show up. However, in the last couple of years, she started to show us that she's actually her own dimension. And that the more this divine feminine has come out in people, men and women, and basically she says, as we have even attempted to be kinder, she has felt welcome to be present. And as we have been talking about how to be more spirit in the body, she's had requests from within her dimension where spirit lives to come forward and help. So her borders have become open. The veil has not disappeared, but it is open all the time instead of just around Christmas, Halloween, and many other cultural openings that happen and full moons and such. So she says, because I am open now, people can also see what I am made of. So you are often seeing the structure of her, the fourth dimension, which can look like saran wrap that's been melted in the microwave. Looks like that gooiness, but it will move. You can see that when you look up into the blue sky sometimes. It'll look kind of drippy. It could even look like little specks of black once in a while, little pinpricks of black. You can see the fourth dimension in your house. If you just look at a blank wall, you'll see kind of the wall droop a little bit. Fourth dimension can be seen at night. Just let your eyes kind of go soft. And sometimes it'll look like a migraine floater or like you have a little gooby in your eye. It's the fourth dimension. She's welcome to show up. If you don't see this, it's not a remark on your abilities in any way. We all have different clairs. She's also showing up auditorily, so sometimes you'll sense something in your mind's ear, and auditorily, or you'll actually hear spirit next to you saying, "I'm right here," because the borders are open. When you see the man with the hat, he's a custodian. He's keeping it clear. There's so much going in and out of the fourth realm because now that the borders are open, those of us who are calling ourselves intuitive out in the open, we no longer travel to the fourth realm just when we sleep. If we are daydreaming or washing our dishes or something that doesn't take much of our mind to do, we're kind of walking into the fourth realm all the time as if we're just going to get a smoothie or something and we're coming back out. And so I noticed that these janitors, you've seen one with the cap, they're always kind of sweeping energy to make sure that it's clear and clean so the travel is easy. I don't notice that there are any negative entities in the fourth realm. I don't want to say it that way, but we have the spectrum. Just like we talked about, Earth is the spectrum, the fourth realm is the same thing. So when the fourth realm boundaries are open, people should be aware that they're going to see floating faces, they're going to see different elemental beings. You might, in other cultures, call them demons, dark angels, entities, elementals. Sometimes it's the Fae, all sorts. We have the whole population of the galaxy. We have asked them in because we have said, help. And it is our job to receive help without judgment. And the help you receive will match what you are ready to receive. We are not in danger. The help we're being given is here to help us. And what is coming up culturally, whether it's in the physical world or the spiritual world, it's coming up to be healed. So those perpetuated trauma cycles can't happen anymore. So if you see something dark, first of all, if you see something that scares you, sit with it for a minute, because the angels are saying just because it's different doesn't mean it's bad. Say to it, take off your costume. If you're not here to help, go with the angels. If you're here to help, I don't want to be afraid. Because it could be a lot of incarnations since we've seen something that is extraterrestrial or demonic or something that's been helping us. And when I say demonic, I'm not talking about like Satan's helpers. I'm talking about a certain elemental that is part angelic, but might have horned features or something, and is just called that. It's just from that category, but it's not evil. It's time to start reconstructing what we know. Fourth realm is open. It will remain open because we now in our human bodies have decided we're not limited to that anymore. We are seeing each other as spirit. So we've opened up the playground.
Mm-hmm.
And she answered, she said, okay, thanks. Thanks for welcoming me back. Mama's home.
Well, I kind of felt like that when you said curtain. I know in the very beginning, like early 2020, I could look up at the sky. Now, this is always eyes open. I can see the same thing, eyes closed. The texture just changes.
Yes.
So, eyes open, I started seeing people walking around and going behind the curtain and people coming out from a curtain. And I thought, where are they going? Where are they coming from? But for me, I can literally be laying in bed and they're like floating in my room. I can wake up in the middle of the night and it could be like because it's dark in my room, it just looks dark. It's bouncing off the ceiling like one of those robo vacuums. And I'm so used to being with them. They're part of me and I love them. I can see them, going up and seeing the whole light around my body and them lighting me up. This has been going on now for 5, 6, 7 years. And it's amazing. But when I go outside to watch the sky show, I tune into the sky and the same beings
Mhm.
Always the same beings come up, and they're literally pulling sheets of different colored energy, and the sky turns multiple different colors of blue, multiple different
Wow.
colors of white, and they're just moving and working. And then I'll see a whole bunch of, sparkly, like billions of sparkles just going all around like a fireworks. And sometimes it'll come in black specks, but it's
Mhm.
so much fun. And you're the only one. I remember hearing you on someone else's show, which is what prompted me to find you and reach out. The spirit was like, yes, get Rachel. And I've been just wanting to uncover this because I don't know what the hell I'm
That's
seeing.
what
You
it
know what's
is.
going, hey, Sandy, this is what's happening.
The veil. I also have been noticing as part of this fourth dimension opening up, I can see in people's auric fields data showing up in the auric fields, and it can look like hieroglyphics, look like our alphabet, can look like phonetics, numbers, and they're always shifting.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I can get a read on what that is. Sometimes I can't, but I've been able to see that. And sometimes it's in people's auric fields. Sometimes it's just in the sky. I'll just see coding, and it will be bright green or blue. Looks like computer coding, and it'll just
Mm-hmm.
go.
Mm-hmm.
And once in a while, it'll match up with something in the sky where there will be a tear in the blue of the sky, like a fabric tear. Or I'll see something in the sky that'll look like my kids used to play Minecraft, and the sky will look like, or Tetris. Remember Tetris? The sky will all of a sudden look very glitchy, and it'll go,
Yes.
and I'll see
Yes.
data.
Yes.
And then I'll just have to take a moment. Okay, reset. So it's the fourth dimension.
Okay.
And that is very, I'm an angel incarnate in a human body with an ego because I'm human. So in those moments, I have to say I feel very validated because the things that I know are crazy. And so then to see the sky glitch, I'm like, okay, good. I'm glad I could see that because the stuff that's going on in here, it's good to see some proof.
Well, you're the only one I've heard describe it exactly as I see it. Anyone I try to describe it to, even if I go into session with someone, yeah, oh, that's just consciousness showing up in a different color or whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah,
no, these are
yeah.
multiple different beings and energy.
They are
And I know I'll
consciousness, but
understand it even better, but still.
they're not wrong. It is part of consciousness, but not quite. They're not wrong, but it's more specific.
Yeah, because they're showing me it looks like a different realm, right? And
Yes.
sometimes they'll come closer so I can literally see the shoulders, the hands, the color of the eyes,
Yes.
and the face. And sometimes the face will shift, right? Because it's letting me know it has multiple different faces. Um, and so nothing scares me. Not, I mean, it's I'm so neutral and looking at it. All I want is more information. So for a while there, I would be like asking all kinds of questions, and then for a while, I'm like, stop talking to me. If you don't want to tell me what it is, I'm sick of watching you. To now, I'm just sort of like, can I just be content with just observing?
Right. Because you will know more. They're saying you'll know more as it's time. And that's not like merit based. That doesn't match like your worthiness or anything. It's just the way it's going to happen. We'll know more as we get to know more. And I just asked a question of them. I said, will everybody be able to see the fourth veil the way we can? And they said, oh, yes, this is for everyone. It's just all in their own timeline, all when they're ready. That's why I used my rods. I wanted to validate that. They said, this is for everyone to see. If everyone saw it at once, it would be too much of a tidal wave. It's
Mhm.
incremental.
So do you think maybe because I started seeing it before that I will be able to assist others and
That's exactly
somehow?
right. Yes. And
Okay.
also, this lines up with something on your blueprint or your soul map that you wrote before you were born. You said you are willing to see these things as long as it wouldn't come with persecution.
Oh yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree with that. I had to get through this lifetime of knowing I'm safe. I will not be persecuted in this lifetime, which is why I was quiet for like the 40, like 40, 50 years of my beginning of life and only spoke openly and authentically to selected few. And now I'm like, it's all coming out and I know I'm safe.
Yeah, I see that. It's good.
Okay. Oh gosh, that's a big relief to hear.
I saw the eye. I know what it is. It's from the Gnostic, it's kind of Gnostic belief, but it's the eye of the bigger God. So we think of like the religious God who is kind of the male God. But then they're taking me, the God that created that God, the God that created all, the monad, the mama papa God, the seeing eye. That's the God that you know that created all of us. And I'm doing this because it looks like the eye. They're doing this with their hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's the God that is in they said that is in love, that is in love with us. That is our
Mm-hmm.
God. And they're saying, for some that are listening, this will make sense that it is that some are connected to the religious demiurge, the small God, and the God that you're seeing is the one that it's connected to, Sophia, the mother, the big love God. And so when you go into the fourth realm, you're seeing the eye of Mother, Father, God.
Thank you. Well, I do know that as soon as wherever I am, doesn't matter where I am, if I sit down and I meet, takes 2 seconds to tune in, it always comes in the exact same way because it's letting me know that it's friend and that it doesn't distort itself. It comes in, there's a multitude of things that happens with the energy, but always consistent with that. The eye comes forward and then the eye goes
Mhm.
back and then it looks like, a big bear or something. And then the being shows up and then, even times I can look at it when the eye is from a distance and people are going in and out of the eye
Mhm.
or they're
Mhm.
behind the
Yes.
eye looking back at me. And I'm like, is that a
Yes.
spaceship window or what? Because again, my mind is very limited to what it can translate at this
Mhm.
time.
Mhm. It definitely does look like a Stargate, doesn't it?
Hmm.
I
Yes.
would agree. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and there's part of that even is turning two directions. I can't do
Hmm.
it with my hands, but I'm seeing it turn to, it looks like a Stargate, but they're saying it's eye of God.
Hmm.
No, eye of source. Hmm. Very interesting.
It is. And then lots of times, like if I could be like laying in bed and I'll like, call on my team, always one will appear and it has like a bluish purple at night. But sometimes I see them come flying through the window and the walls, like as fast as they can, like we're invited in, you know. And then they're
Mhm.
all over my room, and it's just
Mhm.
like, and sometimes I have a hard time going to sleep because I want to watch them. Now it is such a comfort when I know they're there. I go to sleep immediately, and I'll open my eyes up periodically throughout the night, like, and I go, yep, still here, and I just
Still here.
roll over and go to. And there have been times where I've woken up laying on my side, and they'll be right here, and as soon as I open my eyes, they back up.
I just asked your guides. I wanted to know if they're coming to see you or if it's an overlay of like if you are in that dimension and experiencing that, or if they are showing like, hey, we're going to show you this, we're visiting you. And they said, you are you're at a place where you're able to experience multiple dimensions at one time. You're observing dimensions, you're multidimensional. That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I would just like to understand it more. And
You
there
will.
is no class or no school or something you can sign up with. I'm in that self-taught class where you got to learn by
Mm,
visceral movements and learning how to, turn the volume of the ego down, the logic down, and to fine tune other sensory systems that I might not
yes.
even be familiar with.
Yes. Yeah, agreed.
Well, it's
On the other
interesting.
hand, that's a good thing because you're not you're not working from someone else's teaching model or someone else's ideas. You're
Mhm.
fresh, you're open.
Yeah, and I have occasionally gotten a clear knowing that as I kind of go through this, even though I'm not an artist at all, I can barely draw a stick man, but they're like, it's going to get put together and you're going to be able to share it with others because it's really hard to describe to someone what you see. You
Yeah,
can
it is,
describe
isn't it?
feelings a little bit, but what you see, it's so foreign that I don't even know if an artist could sit there and draw it. Because there's so many things going on. There's so many action movements, you
Right,
know. But
right.
I just know that it's coming more and more, and it just feels so friendly. And I want others to know who are listening that maybe now that you listen to this, maybe you can think, oh, I kind of
We
experienced
see
that, or
that.
I'm beginning to experience, or maybe my children just told me that, or someone else
Hmm.
just told me that. And so then you can dive a little bit deeper
Yes.
into it.
Yeah, because I feel like I was seeing it for a while before I let myself notice it and ask myself what it was. I was definitely seeing that droopiness in the sky before I just really stopped. And because my mind will be really busy, or I'll just be schedule is really busy. I think I was seeing it for a good few weeks before I just let myself say, "Hey, what is that? That's new." That's a big
Mhm.
part of our spiritual growth is just allowing ourselves to stop and notice whether it's spirit talking to us or showing us a synchronicity or seeing the veil. We just get to stop and notice because we're so stinking busy.
Yeah, and I've had other beings step through, like literally step through. There was a point in time when I went out to watch the sky show in like 2021, and every day I set time aside. This is my time to go sit and just be with these whatever this is. And I was sitting there once, and I sort of closed my eyes a little bit, and then when I opened them above the trees, it looked like this giant ninja out of the Ninja Turtles, And I just remember looking over and it looking at me, and it was humongous. And I thought to myself, oh, is it about to come get me? But I was very neutral with my face because I was just observing it. And then it just looked at me and I looked at it, and it just went on and disappeared into whatever. But other things have come through different times, and it's almost like they're time traveling and just saying, "Hey, oops, oh, we just popped in. Nice, yep, got to go."
Notice that too when I am looking behind my eyelids and looking into the quantum field or the fourth realm. I like to practice that activity as well because sometimes I don't know if I'm cheating when I do this, but I like to look behind my eyelids because it's our instant access to the fourth
Hmm.
realm. And that's that live space. And sometimes you'll get a face that'll come right up and like, what are you doing here?
Hmm.
And you'll see those shapes, and it's kind of like a Pink Floyd album, if you've listened.
Yes,
Like it's
or
so
or
great.
or something out of like a strange Disney. The way the art and the
Yes.
thing is,
Yeah, Fantasia or something like
yeah, I
that.
thought about
Yeah.
Fantasia too. Now, there was
Yes.
a time back in like 2020, 21 when I go for really long walks and I put on sunglasses.
Mhm.
And when I would, there'd always be like little water stains inside the sunglasses. And sometimes I would be walking, and in that little like water thing, there would be all this movement and almost like a whole show going on that I had to be careful I didn't fall off the path because I'd make, oh, I'm going to have to go sit down and watch that. But yet I knew I was sitting there. I knew what was beyond the sunglasses. I knew what
Mhm.
was going on with this eye, but it just happened to be a little something like right there. And
Yes.
it was reconfiguring itself into beings, and they would have movement. I can see mouths move and them
Mhm.
talk. I can see people hug and kiss. I can see people doing the waltzing. A lot of people
Mm.
dancing. I can see
Yes, there's
people
so much
on.
dancing
There's
in the
so
realm.
yes.
Mhm.
It is so good to hear this because I really want people who are awakening to this to understand, hey, this is okay. They just
Yes.
explained what you can't explain because that's how I feel right now. Like, wow, this is the first time I've actually had a conversation where somebody is getting it and giving me some feedback.
It's good, doesn't it?
It's really good.
I feel like it heals that part in many of us where we were waking up our spiritual belief and we had to do it in a cellar or in an attic or in those lifetimes where maybe we were put in an asylum.
Mm-hmm.
We had to practice in a coven, um, or hide our religion. We all have that somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Or we were the artist who made brave choices and we had to put someone else's name on it. Or we were
Mm-hmm.
the ghost writer coming out of that. So
Well,
yeah, validating each other is good.
thank you. And I know, like on our other episode, we were talking about like you growing up religious, I grew up religious, and you being an angel incarnate, did you see things differently through religion because you knew a different story? And even as a young kid in my family of seven, although we went to church, we went to confession, we did everything, all under this umbrella of religion. And I always knew that most of that was never true because I could
Right.
sit around and my mom would read the Bible and I would hear, I didn't say that. And then I'd
Yes.
ask, and my mom would be like, don't you question that because that was the
Right.
era she's in. And then I would say things like, well, why did this Bible just get rewritten? Why did the New Testament just get revised? Well, so more and more people can understand it. And I'd be like, but it's in a certain language so that we could translate it in that language. Why are we putting it into so many other languages? And then if you looked, you could see how many times it had been revised. And with the Old Testament, in the old Bibles, they don't put them out anymore, but they did. When I was a kid,
Mm.
I'd go to everyone's house and I'd look at the back of their Bible, and it would have how many times it every single time it was under a king, a queen, or a dictator, they had changed something within it, of course, to give them more power. But I
Yes.
just found it fascinating that you, as an angel incarnate, being raised, religious, Catholic religion, same as me, and having your points of view. So people need to go back and listen to that episode, and me having mine. So I used to just stare out the stained glass windows and look
Me
at the
too.
energy of the windows.
Me too. I would just close my eyes and listen to the organ and look out the stained glass windows and watch the angels dance up on the ceiling because of the stories. They didn't have much truth to them anymore because so much time had passed. It's like playing telephone for eons.
Mm-hmm.
This just so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I used to see my mom and so many people after church, flock around the priest, right? Oh, we know him, blah, 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 blah. And I used to step way back and just watch, and I could read the energy of his impurities
Yeah.
and see straight through him. And each one of them could never look me in the eye. And I was just a kid with a pixie cut, like it was almost like, oh, she knows,
Who knows?
right? Um, so I think we're going to be awakening to a lot of these things that we may have glossed over or we may have stuffed into our subconscious. I think with the energies that are happening right now and the timing, that source's timing is that, hey, let's start waking up. So are you into the year of the fire horse or anything like that? Do you feel like 2026, and I really don't want to talk a lot about it, but like in the I like to talk more about the here and now or very short, like maybe a month, because people will be like, oh, and then a year goes by and you're like, yeah, right. Okay, let's keep going.
Well, I know that this year, I don't know much about the year of the horse specifically, but what I know is that this is the year of contact. This is the year of collaboration with other realms. And I know that they are showing me, like at the top of our memos when we have council meetings, the letterhead has changed. And there are, I'm going to pull it into my mind. The top has the fire horse on it, and the fire horse is running to the right. And we always bring something like that into the year. And this year, it's the idea that we're not wasting any time. We talked about so much over and over and over in meetings in 2025, and we would always sidebar, this could have been in an email, this could have been in a meditation, come on, why are we here? We did all that. This year is forward motion, and that feels very much like light a fire under that horse, fire horse. It feels like that. And it's the collaborations will be with the interterrestrials, extraterrestrials, higher councils, angelics. Everyone is going to be involved, and it is not going to be pretty. And though there's one horse on that letterhead, they show me it's like the idea of all these wild horses that in the past would people would want to tame them. They can't be tamed this time because they're not supposed to be. Keep it wild. And the wildness in those horses is that no one can tell us what to believe anymore. Collectively, we just want to know the truth, because we are coming into our own truths right now. So don't tell us lies anymore. Don't tell us what to believe. We just want a blank slate. This year, we're having helpers come in to get rid of the liars, quiet the liars. I'm going to say that, quiet the liars. I don't know how they're going to do it or what's going to happen. Quiet the liars, tell us the truth, and help us create a blank canvas to restart. That's 2026.
Yeah. Well, of course, fire represents the energy and the speed, right? When you're all fired up about things. And for whatever reason, yesterday I got the message like the year of the fire horse, are you going to get your crotch singed, or are you going to buy fireproof panties and wean into the ride? That came through, and I had to post it out yesterday
I love that.
my whole team is comedy, and they're comedy writers or performers. I'm a one-woman show, and I crack myself up constantly. But I was like, singe your crotch. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And they go, or are you going to buy fireproof panties and wean into the ride? And I was like, okay, okay, that's a good one.
Are going to get their nuts hurt. A lot of men are going to get their balls hurt. Because the rise of the divine feminine, we're making a lot of room.
Yes.
And there's a lot of men who are going to cross over. There will be a lot of death this year, and it's seen from a holy perspective. It's held in love. And it will look brutal from our perspective, perhaps, but it is good because it is a restart. And that's the way we're going to need to see it. Because the light always wins. Light always wins. When there's one, if you have a whole power outage, that doesn't make any sense. Give it to me again. If you have one light bulb burning in the whole city, light has won because there's light on. And that's what's going on. There are enough people that are holding the light. That's why help is coming. That's why help is here. I've heard it wrong again. Sorry. Help is already here. What will happen in 2026? More help is coming, and they will make their presence known because we're ready.
Do you think more and more presence will be, do you think like it'll be more individual meeting and translation? Do you think it would be more collective? Because I feel like not everybody's ready for it. Like you could say, oh, this town is ready, and 40 people kind of believe it and the other 60 don't. And then now you've kind of fringed.
It's going to be personal timelines. people as they're ready. And then there are going to be some world events that wake people up that are undeniably spiritual.
Yes.
Those things will happen. And some of the spiritual things will feel kind of alien. Like, how in the world did that happen? And yet we're not surprised. It'll kind of like, oh, yeah, okay, I guess that could happen. There will be elements like that. And people's resilience will be tested, and it'll help them come together.
You know,
So,
and as a grounded realist, it is what it is. And so if you look at it from a almost like that bird's eye view looking down, and maybe when you're down here you didn't see spot treatment needed here, cleaning needed there, essence of this needed to be gone, but up here you see it differently. So many of us who have been doing this work and came in with the frequency of, you know, where we are in this moment, because each day we raise our frequency if we work on it, we're seeing it from that. So it's not going to have that emotional distraughtness is the word I'm hearing. As many will, but we'll be there to assist.
And we're survivors.
Yes, by nature we all are.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
And
our body innately does it.
Yeah, and those that can't will cross over. This has all been orchestrated by spirit. So that's what's ahead.
Yes. And for those of you who keep saying, you know, I want this to happen, I want that to happen, rip the Band-Aid off, do that. Be careful what you wish for. Start working on your frequency, start grounding, start aligning, start having that self-talk, start exploring, start expanding, get that heart open so that you are truly grounded and ready for what may present.
That's right.
You know, because things change. Even what Rachel's saying, some things could change.
Oh, yes. Nothing is set in stone because we are a consciousness united. And as we change our thoughts, we change what happens in the very next moment. We have that much power. So we get to think creatively without fear. And like I said, the one light bulb, that's one person. So one person rerouting their thoughts makes a difference. It's really true. So we don't need to hear this and be in fear. This is just information. And whatever happens, we can handle it because we're creating this to grow from it. We're not creating a sabotage. No, not at all. We're creating something so we don't have to have our power, our loosh taken from us for the rest of time. We're recreating something. So from that perspective, let's see what happens. Let's work with it, help each other. And in my body, when I channel this message, it feels positive. It feels optimistic. I don't feel the fear. I have been seeing visions of this since I was 4, since my first near-death experience. I can see what they're talking about, and it is a lot. And also, I still feel the same optimism, even though I see what I see. It has the same feeling of optimism. We can do it.
Yes, we can. And as you were talking, I was getting this vision of like the big giant power plant. And some people are antennas of all different lengths. And some are extension cords of all different lengths going out all over. But everything is still not just attached, but is part of the power plant, the central power plant. That's what I was seeing as you were talking. Some of us need to be like, I could see myself being an extension cord and going out a little bit further and further because I wanted to venture out a little further.
Yeah.
And bring the frequency and the electricity and whatever else I'm bringing. And then maybe, you know, bring people back in closer to the power plant until they're ready to venture out, you know,
Yes.
But we're all part of that power plant.
Yes. Yes. Perfect.
Well, this has been a lot. And once again, I am just blown away at our impromptu boom, did a boom, went through. And I hope our viewers, I'm sure they'll pick it up and and maybe leave a question next time and share this. And guys, I'm going to be starting a series on addiction, and so we're going to be broadening all kinds of things. So it's important that you subscribe. I'm going to have all different walks of life, all different people certified in this or that, or experiencers, or whatever it is. And Rachel is going to be coming on to give her perspective, her translation, her thought on addiction, so that we can start really understanding our body's chemistry, emotionally, physically, mentally, etherically, and bring some more compassion and love, and just douse this whole thing so that people can have more truth. So I just heard more truth. Okay, fine. That just fell out of my mouth. I just like more truth. Okay, about what it really is, and different flavors about that. So Rachel, thank you so very much for your time. I know how busy you are. We're going to put your link in the description, but if you'd like to tell people where they could find you.
You can find me in your dreams. I'm always walking around. Look for me. I tend to wear leather, black leather, and have longer hair, truly. So you might not recognize me at first, but I'll tell you who I am. Also, I have a website for when I'm awake. It's rachelcorpus.com. It's just my name. And I'm on the social media.
Eyelashes are going to fall off. I'm laughing so hard. Thinking though, my eyes are wet because I'm thinking, hey, now where can we find you? In your dreams. That's where you can find me. Where else did you think?
Assless chaps that are black leather, and I'm not lying. And that's me. How you'll know it's me. I'll just turn around and you'll know it's me.
Okay, I'll let you know. I'll wave to you.
You'll know my wings.
There you go. All right. Well, we're going to sign off. Stay put, but say goodbye to the audience.
Bye. Love you all.
Bye, everybody.